I'm assistant professor urogynecology, and I hope you guys are having a nice day so far. The topic of our presentation today is pelvic organ prolapse. Okay. These are just the objectives, okay? Let's move on. So basically, what is pelvic organ prolapse? It's a descent of the genital organs beyond the normal anatomical confines. It's just like a hernia. The hernia is just coming downwards, that's it, behind the introitus and the vaginal orifice. So what are the normal anatomical confines? When we talk about the normal anatomical confines, basically the pelvic organs are supported by the muscles and then the endopelvic fascia. तो मसल्स कौन से हैं जो हमारे सपोर्ट करते हैं? वो levator ani होते हैं. These are levator ani muscle, okay? So the levator ani muscle basically acts like a gutter, or it acts like a basin, or it acts like a floor underneath all the pelvic organs, ठीक है? Which includes the bladder, the uterus, and even the rectum for that matter. It circles around all these three orifices, okay? And we have levator ani muscle, which is basically forming the pelvic floor, and then along with it we have the endopelvic fascia. And they are divided into three levels of supports further. Level 1 is uterosacrocardinal ligament complex. This is the apical ligament. This is the apical level of support. And if we lose this support, then what will happen? The most apical part will prolapse out. And what is the most apical part when we talk about a uterine prolapse? It's probably going to be the cervix or the uterus. Okay? Or if hysterectomy has been done, it will be the vault. Apical prolapse, okay? Then we come to the mid level of the vagina. Vagina के mid level पे आ जाओ. Vagina के mid level पे जब आते हैं तो mid level anteriorly support किया जाता है pubocervical fascia and posteriorly by the rectovaginal septum. And these in turn are attached to arcus renninus fascia complex. So laterally इसको support करते हैं. आगे एक तस्वीर में और भी है. फिर level 3 के level पे जब हम आते हैं, these are basically the suburethral support in the perineal body posteriorly. तो यहाँ पे नजर आ रहा है. This is arcus renninus fasciae pelvis. और ये हमारा pubocervical है और पीछे इसका जो है rectovaginal septum जो कि यूं laterally जाके यानी vaginal anteriorly posteriorly जाके ये fuse होते हैं laterally जाके इनमें fix हो जाते हैं. ठीक है, ये support कर रहा होता है पूरा system. तो कोई भी weakness, if it is because of any reason, if the muscle gets traumatized, or if the endopelvic fascia gets traumatized, or the nerve gets traumatized, it will lead to weakness of the entire pelvic floor structure and causing prolapse of the genital viscera. इसकी सिर्फ ये simple एक analogy दी हुई है कि if for some if you just imagine that the water over here is basically the pelvic floor, that is the levator ani muscles. The ropes over here with which the ship is being tied or hold on is the endopelvic fascia or the ligamental support, and the ship over here is the uterus. So what will happen? For if any reason water will dry out, or water will evaporate, or water will just go away or sink down, so what will happen? The ship will start sinking, and then the ship will finally put the entire pressure, entire weight just on the ropes. And finally, what will happen? The ropes will also break down. So this is exactly the same analogy that for if any reason the endopelvic floor, the pelvic floor, that is the levator ani muscles, are damaged for any reason, if they get damaged, then the viscera will have a lot of pressure, and this pressure will come down absolutely onto the ligamental support. And that ligamental support can only be given to a certain extent, and then finally what happens? The ligaments will tear off or will wear off, and the organ will prolapse. It's just a simple analogy to explain it to you guys. So what will you happen? Bladder control, bowel controls, and pelvic organ prolapse. And this is the main topic that we're going to discuss today. These are levator ani muscles. Look in this picture. These are levator ani. This is puborectalis. This is pubococcygeus. This is iliococcygeus. Lateral one. So what will happen? If the anterior vaginal wall prolapse, you can have lower anterior vaginal wall है तो urethrocoele, उससे ऊपर जाऊंगी cystocoele, combine है तो cystourethrocoele. Vaginal wall है ना. But anterior vaginal wall में क्या आगे क्या है? Anterior vaginal wall के आगे है bladder and urethra. So if this support weakens, the pubocervical fascia weakens for any reason, तो lower urethrocoele, mid cystocoele, combined cystourethrocoele. उसी तरह posterior vaginal wall. Posterior vaginal wall is separating the rectovaginal septum is separating the posterior vaginal wall from the rectum. तो अगर इसकी कोई वीकनेस होगी तो ऊपर के लेवल पे एंटेरोसील, नीचे के लेवल पे रेक्टोसील. उसी तरह अगर एपिकल प्रोलैप्स होगा तो यूट्रोवाजाइनल होगा या फिर वॉल्ट प्रोलैप्स होगा, एंड दिस इज कार्डिनल यूट्रो लिगामेंट सेगमेंट कॉम्प्लेक्स सपोर्ट जो सिस्टम है इसका. These are again just anatomical picture that you can see. एक नॉर्मल एनाटमी है. ये यूट्रस है, ये ब्लैडर है, ये बाउल है, ये 3 ओरिफिसेस हैं, ये हमारे लिवर एंड मसल के अंदर फिक्स हुए हैं, वेल सपोर्टेड. What will happen? This is cystocele. Here you can see. It is entering into the entire anterior vaginal wall. Bladder prolapse is cystocele. This is the rectocele. The rectum is coming to or evaginating into the vaginal wall posteriorly. So this is rectocele. This is the uterus from this normal location has come down and it is almost reaching the hymen. So this is the uterine prolapse. This is the vault prolapse. This is anatomy after the hysterectomy. If hysterectomy has been done, this is the vault. The vault यहाँ पे होना चाहिए at the level of the ischial spine, but has come down over here. So this is vault prolapse. These are just the pictures for you guys to see. Okay, this is uterine, this is apical prolapse. So the prevalence is really high. About 30% of females will be suffering from prolapse, some kind of prolapse. And actually this incidence is very underestimated because many females will not be reporting, और हमारे यहाँ तो especially बहुत underestimated होता है. Because women will not come to complain and they will understand that this probably is a normal phenomena of life. What are the grading systems? Okay. So basically we have 4 grading systems, but what we generally follow is, we form Baden-Walker. This is the Baden-Walker system, but you guys follow in your books, okay? And generally एक Baden-Walker होता है, दूसरा POPQ होता है. बाकी Porges and BHM are obsolete almost. They're very old school of thought processes and they're not being used. इनमें 3 grades है, इसमें 4 systems होते हैं, 4 stages होती हैं. When we talk about the Baden-Walker जो तुम लोग की books में भी दिया हुआ है, तो it has grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 and grade 4. Grade 4 को procidentia कहते हैं. What is procidentia? Procidentia is when the entire uterus along with the fundus of the uterus is lying outside, or the entire wall is lying outside the hymen. तो उसको हम लोग कहते हैं procidentia. Grade 1 क्या है? इसका जो reference mark है वो hymen है. This is your hymen. This is the hymenal ring. ठीक है? So if the prolapse or the leading part of the prolapse, that could be cervix, that could be the anterior wall, that could be the posterior wall, whatever, is coming midway to vagina. Midway to vagina. It's a grade 1 prolapse. If it comes down to the level of the hymenal ring, again, I'm repeating, hymenal ring. The reference mark is hymen, not introitus. If it reaches hymenal ring, it is grade 2 prolapse. If it comes beyond the hymen, this is grade 3 prolapse. And if like this, जिस picture में पूरा पहाड़ आके पड़ा हुआ है, तो this is procidentia, जिसको grade 4 prolapse भी कहते हैं. Since this is the only system that you guys should be knowing, I will not be getting into details of the other grading systems. Again, this is Baden-Walker. I'm repeating that again. So the normal anatomical line map for all the viscera, the vault is basically the ischial spine. It should normally be at the level of the ischial spine. Anything beyond ischial spine will be prolapse. So if it comes midway or halfway to the hymen, this is grade 1. If it reaches the hymen, it is grade 2. If it crosses the hymen, it's grade 3. And if it is maximum descent, as in like the entire uterus, the entire wall is coming outside the hymen, it is grade 4 prolapse or procidentia. Procidentia is the term that has been used in your books, not grade 4. But you should know the grade 4 of procidentia. It's the same thing. I think this is not relevant for you guys, okay? So basically, who are the women at risk? Yeah, what are the risk factors for any women to develop prolapse? The risk factors would be anything that will raise the intra-abdominal pressure, okay? Be it cough, be it constipation, be it weight lifting, be it obesity, be it parity, be it difficult labors, deliveries, anything. All these things that will increase the abdominal pressure will actually cause a pressure on the pelvic floor, that is the levator ani muscles, will cause the weakness of the levator ani muscle, which will cause stretching onto the ligamental supports and further tearing off and prolapse. So this is the general mechanism, ठीक है? तो risk factors क्या हो जाएंगे? Generally multiparous हो जाएगा, elderly females, menopausal status, congenital हो सकता है कि family history है किसी में. Low socioeconomic is not like a risk factor, it's an association. So don't please put this into a risk factor, it's an association. heavy weightlifting, chronic cough. Smokers is also an association. Obesity is also an association. So how will you manage this case? Whenever management is asked to you from exam perspective, you always start with history, examination, investigation, treatment. किसी भी चीज की, चाहे वो मेडिसिन हो, सर्जरी हो, कुछ भी, जब मैनेजमेंट का वर्ड आ जाता है तो इट्स ऑल द फोर थिंग्स कवर्ड. यू हैव टू कवर ऑल द फोर थिंग्स. तो हर एक के सैलिएंट फीचर बताने पड़ेंगे. हिस्ट्री में क्या रेलेवेंट है? व्हाट इज रेलेवेंट इन हिस्ट्री? हिस्ट्री में रेलेवेंट इज द सिम्टम्स ऑफ प्रोलैप्स. What are the symptoms that the patient is having? So that could be either directly related to the prolapse, like the feeling of bulge in vagina, a dragging pain, a feeling of pressure or heaviness below or down there, or indirectly because of the viscera which is involved in prolapse. For instance, if the bladder is coming out, that means the patient might have a feeling of incomplete bladder emptying and a feeling of going to the washroom again and again. Frequency is increased, urgency might be increased. Likewise, if there is prolapse of the rectum or the posterior vaginal wall, then the patient will have symptoms of incomplete defecation, chronic constipation. The patient will have of the pressure of or the urge of going to defecate again and again, but won't be able to completely evacuate the bowel. These are the main, I guess, so symptoms, you know, ये हैं सारे, ठीक है? Patient may also have incontinence, which could be urgency or could be stress incontinence. So these are all the things that you need to address in the history. हिस्ट्री में क्या चीजें आ जाएंगी? हिस्ट्री में आप रिस्क फैक्टर्स पूछेंगे और सिम्टम्स पूछेंगे. सिम्टम्स ये सारे हो गए. ड्यूरेशन ऑफ सिम्टम्स पूछ लिया. अब क्या, व्हाट्स न्यू नाउ? शी हैविंग एनी ब्लीडिंग? मे बी शी हैज a decubitus ulcer. Bleeding is also another symptom. Sexual symptoms है कि नहीं है? Is she having dyspareunia? Is she having difficulty having intercourse? And then the other thing would be, what are the risk factors? History में risk factors को evaluate करना. So if you are asked to take history of a prolapse patient, always remember कि आपने age, parity वगैरह सारी करनी है. आपने detail of the symptoms लेनी है which are directly associated to the prolapse or the viscera involved. And number 2, आपने risk factors को evaluate करना है. ये क्या आपको खांसी रहती है, आप वजन ज्यादा उठाती, you have to evaluate क्यों हुआ. कि डिफिकल्ट डिलीवरीज तो नहीं थी, बच्चे ज्यादा भारी थे, इंस्ट्रूमेंटल हुई थी डिलीवरी. यू हैव टू आस्क दीस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. दिस इज योर हिस्ट्री. ओके, हिस्ट्री में ये दो चीजें मेनली कवर होनी है. फिर आ जाते हैं गायनेकोलॉजिकल एग्जामिनेशन. इंपॉर्टेंट गायनेकोलॉजिकल पे यूजुअली डन इन लिथोटमी विद अ स्विम स्पेकुलम एंड यू विल एक्चुअली retract the anterior vaginal wall. उसमें लेवल ऊपर से नीचे तक देखते हुए आएंगे कि is there a cystoscele and a urethrocoele, and posterior vaginal wall को सीधा retract करते हुए आएंगे, देखेंगे if there's an enterocele and if there's a rectocele or not. You will comment on the perineal body. You will ask the patient to cuff or bear down Valsalva maneuver. By doing Valsalva maneuver, so the entire prolapse will bulge out. You have to comment if there's an ulcer or not, if there's bleeding, how do the vaginal walls and everything look, where is the hymen, what is the relation of the maximum prolapsed part with the hymen. This will examine it and you will grade it. The prolapse symptoms can have feeling of bulge or heaviness, dragging pain of the pelvis or lower back, difficulty emptying bladder, difficulty emptying bowel, frequency, urgency, avoiding dysfunction, stress incontinence, incomplete emptying, digitation, splitting, coital symptoms, dyspareunia, aparunia, dissatisfaction. What is digitation? Digitation is when the patient has to insert fingers inside the vagina to empty the bladder and pushes the bladder anteriorly, or to empty the rectum and pushes the rectum posteriorly. Posterior vaginal wall पे यूं pressure करके ताकि constipation हो या कोई बाउल को evacuate करने के लिए करे, ये bladder को empty करने के लिए anteriorly जो ना यूं करके vaginal wall को cystoscele को वापस push back करे. तो this is called as digitation. Or splinting is also the same thing. General is weight, chest फिर देखते हैं chronic disease है कि नहीं, abdominal को masses वगैरह तो नहीं है, ascites, pelvic examination. I've already mentioned that. What are the differential diagnosis? Okay. So differential diagnosis will be a uterine polyp, cervical polyp, hypertrophied cervix, a vaginal cyst, urethral diverticulum, and chronic uterine inversion. Okay. Chronic uterine inversion is something else. Inversion is which usually happens during time of the delivery. When the placenta को हमने जोर से खींच लिया जाता है तो यूट्रस की जो inner lining होती है ना, अगर यूट्रस यूं है ना तो वो inner lining prolapse होकर बाहर आ जाती है. It's not the uterus coming down in itself. It's the inner lining. That's inversion. What are the complications? Because of the stretching of the uterus and the bladder, it can cause pressure symptoms onto the ureters and the kidneys and causing hydroureter hydronephrosis can finally eventually lead to renal failure if it's a long-term prolapse. Then it can be an impaction, irreducible हो सकता है, decubitus ulcer infection as well. Investigation. What are the relevant investigations? Don't go into the diagram, okay? Relevant investigations अगर हैं तो it is urine for culture microscopy because of the urinary symptoms. No cystoscopy, sorry. ये मैंने जो पूरे उसके लिहाज से सारे pelvic floor disorders के लिए मेरी presentation है ये. So I'll move on so that you guys don't get confused, okay? So the basic investigation that you need to do is a urine analysis should be done, okay? An ultrasound pelvis should be done. By an ultrasound pelvis? An ultrasound pelvis is basically done to see if there's any kind of pelvic mass along with the prolapse, because if there's a pelvic mass like an ovarian cyst, a fibroid, a tumor, or anything, that will totally change your management. Then your focus will be on the tumor and the mass and not the prolapse, and then you will surgically treat it accordingly, probably doing an abdominal hysterectomy or oophorectomy or whatever is required in that case, okay? So ultrasound का जो main मकसद है वो ये है to see for any other pelvic pathologies along with it, okay? So a urine analysis and ultrasound pelvis should be done, and further investigation, a urodynamics should be done if there's a patient having urinary incontinence along with prolapse symptoms. Why do we do that? We do that just in case if we need to do any anti-incontinence surgery along with the prolapse repair, so we should know it prior to the surgery. It's urodynamics. फिर बाउल के लिहाज से कौन सी इन्वेस्टिगेशन रेलेवेंट हो सकती हैं? टेफिकोग्राफी कैन बी डन अगर किसी को बहुत ही लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग क्रॉनिक कॉन्स्टिपेशन है, एंटेरोसील है और उसको डिफिकल्टी इन इवैक्यूएशन ऑफ द ब्लैडर है, तो टेफिकोग्राफी कैन बी डन टू सी इफ द बाउल मूवमेंट्स आर नॉर्मल और नॉट. ठीक है, लेकिन आई थिंक इन योर बुक्स दे हैव मेंशन्ड कोलोनोस्कोपी, दे हैव मेंशन्ड प्रोक्टोग्राफी वगैरह, एंड आई डोंट नो उनकी ज्यादा रेलेवेंस क्या है, लेकिन बेसिक जो कॉन्सेप्ट है वो यही है कि आपको सिर्फ उसके लेवल दिखना है कि एक तो कौन से लेवल पे प्रोलैप्स है बाउल का, और दूसरा ये है कि इफ द बाउल इज फंक्शनिंग नॉर्मली और नॉट. फिर आ जाते हैं ट्रीटमेंट की तरफ. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट ट्रीटमेंट, द कंजर्वेटिव हैंडब्रेस हैज द की रोल इन मैनेजमेंट ऑफ एवरीथिंग. कंजर्वेटिव इसमें क्या मैनेजमेंट होगी प्रोलैप्स के केस में? व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द प्रोलैप्स पेशेंट, द कंजर्वेटिव वुड बी वेट लॉस, क्विट स्मोकिंग. अगर कॉन्स्टिपेशन है ट्रीट कॉन्स्टिपेशन, अगर कफ है तो ट्रीट कफ, अवॉइड वेट लिफ्टिंग. फिर उसके अलावा कीगल्स एक्सरसाइजेस हैं एंड पैसरीज हैं. दीज आर द ओनली कंजर्वेटिव मैनेजमेंट लाइन. ठीक है ना, और कोई कंजर्वेटिव खास नहीं है. बट अगेन रिपीट अगेन, बीस है तो वेट रिडक्शन है, क्विट स्मोकिंग है, कॉन्स्टिपेशन है तो ट्रीट कॉन्स्टिपेशन है, कफ है एस्थमेटिक है तो ट्रीट दैट प्रायर टू एनी काइंड ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट सर्जिकल स्पेशली, बिकॉज अगर पेशेंट को क्रॉनिक कफ इज अ रीजन तो वो सर्जरी के बाद दोबारा रिकरेंस हो जाएगी. ठीक है, have a healthy lifestyle, pelvic floor exercise play a crucial role, especially in the early stages of prolapse, and it's more preventive than curative. If ring pessaries can be used, but ring pessaries are again more, it's not like a curative kind of a thing, it's just a temporary fix, and they have to, if they come out again then you need to put it back again. Okay, lifestyle advice, pelvic floor physiotherapy, pessary, and what are the indications for having a PESI? Patient's wish as a therapeutic test, childbearing not complete, unfit for surgery during pregnancy, awaiting surgery. So these are the indications for doing a PESI. Why would you do it? Patient wants to preserve her fertility. The prolapse is stage 1, 2, and you want to just check if by reduction of the prolapse patient symptom, but the therapeutic test, वो इसका मतलब ये है कि if we reduce the prolapse, will the symptom of the patient be alleviated or not? So as a therapeutic test, also PESI can be used. If childbearing is not complete, can be used. The patient is unfit, like a very elderly female who's got multiple comorbidities. So if she's unfit for surgery, then PESI is one of the options. It can be done during pregnancy and even in the postpartum period, because many things will recover or improve after an year of pregnancy or awaiting surgery. Okay, now surgical. Surgical options को सिर्फ नाम दे दिया हुआ है. Surgical option किस पे depend करेगी? It will depend on the uterine preserving surgeries or uterine non-preserving surgeries. ठीक है? That means depending on the choice of the patient, if the surgery has to be fertility preserving, तो हमारे पास क्या option है? If it's non-fertility preserving, non-fertility preserving is easy. You just do a vaginal hysterectomy. So basically, if uterine preserving or non-uterine preserving, पे चलो. Uterine preserving नहीं है तो vaginal hysterectomy is one of the options that can be done in an elderly female who has grade 3, 4, 2, even for that. Manchester repair basically is done just if you want to preserve the uterus and cervical amputation. That's why you do Manchester repair, okay? I'll open the chart. Okay. What do you mean types? Types of prolapse में होगा कि कौन सी are you talking about the grading of prolapse? Is that what you're trying to ask? You're talking about anterior prolapse, posterior prolapse, and apical prolapse. Anterior prolapse is cystocele, urethrocoele. Posterior is enterocele and rectocele or rectoenterocele or whatever, if a combination of that. And then apical prolapse is either the prolapse of the uterus or the prolapse of the vault if hysterectomy has been done. Yeah, but if you're trying to ask about the classification is Baden-Walker, in which the normal anatomical landmark for the cervix or the vault is ischial spine. If it crosses ischial spine and reaches mid of vagina, it is called as grade 1. If it reaches up to hymen, it is called grade 2. If it crosses beyond the hymen, at least half of it, it is called grade 3. And if it is completely outside the hymen, it is called as grade 4. Okay. Manchester, I've already told you. Initially, prolapse can reduce spontaneously on lying down, okay? But as it becomes massive and extensive, then it has to be manually reduced. That means grade 3, 4 is generally reduced manually, but grade 1 and 2 spontaneously reduces. Okay? Any more questions? For bladder function, the investigation, the urine analysis, that is urine DR, urine culture. And I told you urodynamic studies, okay? For bowel, however, they say do defecography, do proctography, and do colonoscopy, which I don't agree to. Colonoscopy, I don't know what's the rationale of doing it. Maybe because of any kind of irritable bowel syndrome symptoms or something like that. Like, otherwise, generally, we don't do these things. We do an endoanal ultrasound if we are suspecting that the perineal body is weak and we have deficient sphincter muscles, and we need to tone that up. So then an endoanal ultrasound can be of any relevance. Defecography can be done just to see if the passage of the stool and if the bowel is functioning in the normal way or not, and at the level of prolapse during that passage. So these things can be done, but are they really done? No, they're not done from clinical perspective. But from your exam perspective, yes, you can mention that. No. So if the patient's completed a family and patterns.